Yo, what up guys, it's your boy Chris Lee. Welcome back to another video, and we will be breaking down UFC Seattle. There are 13 fights. This is a very chalk heavy card. Yet again, a lot of favorites, so you know the deal. We'll be skipping over the very chalk heavy fucking fights, and we're breaking down the more even fights. Speaking of very heavy favorites, Alexa Thainara versus Bruno Brazil. These two have actually fought in their career before. Way back when Thainara was like 20 years old. Bruno Brazil won by round 3 submission. Since then, Bruno Brazil is, 2-3 in her fights in the UFC. And Alexa Thainara is an incredibly high-level fighter. And I believe she wins this fairly easily by submission in round 2. This is pretty equal on the feet. Alexis Thainara has a lot more power, is a little bit faster, a little bit more dynamic with her hands, but the fight really breaks down when it goes into the wrestling. Thainara is a really good wrestler, is an extreme submission threat. She has a variety of submissions that she could lock up. Bruno Brazil is not a good defensive wrestler, bad takedown defense. She's lost on the ground. She could get submitted easily. And her footwork on the feet aren't too good. She's a pretty good striker, but she's clearly not UFC level. She's not a prospect, while I think Thainara is actually a prospect and could challenge for a title one day. I'm going to go Thainara by round 2 submission. Ricky Simone. Okay. Ricky Simone versus Adrian Yanez. This is a very competitive fight. This is a very close fight in a lot of people's opinion. Both fighters are 2-5 in their last 5. But you gotta think about oh my god, how does Adrian Yanez have a longer reach? That shocks me. Obviously we know Ricky Simone beat Merab Dvalishvili. I don't know if he actually got the win, but he deserved the win. In their last 5 fights, they fought a lot of different competition, but I would give the massive advantage to competition in Ricky Simone. Ricky Simone in his last 5 fought Ronnie Barcelos, who beat Peyton Talbot. Cameron Smothering, obviously not a good fight, not a good win. He knocked out Javid Basharat, who's a very good fighter, beat him, took his O, and he fought 2 top 10 ranked fighters. So he's not losing to bums, while Adrian Yanez is losing to fucking Jonathan Morales and Daniel Marcos. I just think, you can see the wide thing. Adrian Yanez, both fighters, their styles really do clash in this one, because Adrian Yanez is a fantastic boxer. He has incredibly high volume. He's 6.23 significant strikes per minute. He doesn't give up. Very durable, really solid chin, very fast on the feet. Has pretty good kicks. He does his best work on his front foot. Very technical, great counters. Pushes a really high pace. Has really good cardio. He has pretty good jiu-jitsu defense, solid takedown defense, really good boxing combinations, and he constantly walks forwards, great straight punches. But he does get overly aggressive, and that could lead to him getting taken down. His striking defense is terrible. He always gets clipped. His chin's very high in the air. He always fights very close, a lot of split decisions. He struggles against very heavy grappling style fighters, which obviously is not going to bode well in this matchup. He gets controlled a lot. He has not the best get-up game. He settles on bottom. He kind of just waits for the round to end and wait for them to be stood up. His best win is Davy Grant, which is a very solid win, but this was back injury Davy Grant. Moving on to Ricky Simone. Ricky Simone is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, really solid chin. He builds into a fight. He has really good cardio. He builds into a fight, so he will likely lose round 1, but he could win round 2 and 3. Relentless wrestling, really good top control, very durable. He does have power in his hands, even though he doesn't have too many knockouts to his name. He's very experienced. He sets up his wrestling really well with his footwork. He has really good submissions. He shoots a lot of takedowns in a fight, 4.5 a fight. He has great takedowns. He obviously has great takedown defense. He has pretty good boxing, mainly his boxing hooks, and he has really good pocket combinations. He is quite low output on the feet, 3 significant strikes. He closes distance terribly. He gets clipped a lot while coming in. He struggles against fast and tall opponents, and his long hair doesn't do him favors in any fight. It's kind of like Diego Lopez. Whenever they get hit, it looks like they got punched by a fucking cinder block. I'm gonna go with Ricky Simón here. I think Ricky Simón is gonna be able to drag Adrian Yanez down, get the body lock, chain wrestle, hold him down, and repeat for 3 rounds. I don't think this ends in a finish. I think Ricky Simón controls him for 10 minutes out of the fight, and Yanez probably wins round 1 pretty unanimously with his superior speed in boxing, but I think overall the wrestling of Simón will win him this fight. Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. Bruno Lopez is a fucking shitty heavyweight that has no chin and relies on gritty, like, pace, just pressure wrestling his opponents. Navajo isn't as good as everyone thought he is, but he is a quality fighter. He's a very good kickboxer. He trains with Izzy and Dan Hooker. He's just going to be able to pick apart Bruno Lopez, deny the wrestling, and just knock out Bruno Lopez. I'm going to go around 1 or 2 knockout from Bruno Lopez. I'm leaning round 2. He got knocked out by a jab from Dustin Jacoby. I'm going to go Gabriela Fernandez here. This is an even fight yet again. Leaning Casey O'Neill. I think the wins of Gabriela Fernandez are being overlooked here. Casey O'Neill's coming off of a win over a year and a half ago against Luana Santos. Like, look, she's losing to these people. She lost to Jasmine Davidicus. Okay, Bledsoe is a bad loss, but she beat Carly Judice in a split decision. Very good fight. A very good fighter. She could be a title contender later in her career. Kong Wang, literally the most surging prospect in all of women's MMA. And then she beat, I don't know who the fuck that is. Let's break down them. Let's break down their styles. I gotta search their name. Give me a second. Gabriela Fernandez. Very high volume, pretty good combos. She mixes in kicks and boxing very well. She avoids kicks very well. Again, her kicking game is phenomenal. She has power for the women's division. She has a pretty good clinch game. Good takedown defense. Good pressure. Constantly walks forwards. Again, pretty good competition. Great pressure. She doesn't really slow down. She kind of cruises. She settles on bottom, though. She can be hesitant. She can be held down. And she's not the best wrestler. She can be just smothered. But Casey O'Neill, again, a year and a half of inactivity. She's a wrestler. She has pretty good BJJ, and she has a good submission game. She has good control. She's pretty durable. She's not going to get knocked out. Incredibly high volume, 8 significant strikes per minute. High pace, good cardio. Very active ground and pound. She'll throw a lot of it. Great scrambles, good trip takedowns, closes distance well. She's just all around. She's a very well-rounded fighter with great cardio. But she has a lot more cons than she does positives. She's not very strong. She's not going to muscle you down to the ground. She doesn't respond to pressure well, and that's what Gabriella does. She's very susceptible to body shots. She doesn't really block her body. She struggles to take elite opponents down to the ground. Bad takedown defense. She doesn't really flow. Like, she doesn't seem like a natural wrestler. Everything seems very robotic with her wrestling. She falls in love with her striking. If she wrestles and she plans to do a wrestling only style here, I think she could get the win. But something with Casey O'Neill that you'll see in her tape is that she falls in love with her wrestling, or she'll fall in love with her striking. She won't go for the takedowns. She'll just stand and bang. She'll walk forwards, getting clipped. Again, terrible defense. She neglects it. Very slow, predictable striking. She tends to overextend on her punches, and she's very open whenever throwing a leg kick. I think Gabriela Fernandez will be able to pressure her too much to the point where Casey O'Neill won't be able to get off any wrestling. And I think this will just be a decision for Gabriela. I'm just gonna break down these these two fights quickly, and then I'm gonna go to this one because this one's the only one I'm actually gonna break down. This is a complete mismatch. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Tufik Masayev. They're both kickboxers. Bahamondes is way too high level, way too big, way too strong, way too good for Tukiev, who's like a regional scene kickboxer. Bahamondes is just gonna have his way with him. He's probably gonna knock out Tufik in the second round. Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson Jr. This fight is closer than most people suspect. Chase Hooper doesn't have a ounce of testosterone in his body. He got brutally knocked out by Anthony Hernandez. He's a massive favorite. I don't think he should be. There's a height difference, a noticeable height difference in this, multiple inches. Hold on, I'm pulling up. Again, Chase Hooper has phenomenal jiu-jitsu, fantastic takedowns, very creative submissions, great control. He has terrible striking. He has no power. He's not very physically dominant. He's tall and lanky, so he can lock up a lot of submissions, though. He's very creative on the ground. Once he gets you to the ground, you're not going to get back up. But my worry is that he won't be able to get Lance Gibson to the ground, because Lance Gibson is very well-rounded. He got shown up by Bobby Green, but Bobby Green does that to a lot of fighters. Lance Gibson is a pretty good striker, has power, and he's very physically dominant. He has good jiu-jitsu, good wrestling, but I don't think it's ever been tested to the level of Chase Hooper. So I am leaning Chase Hooper by decision here. I think Chase Hooper will be able to control him for long periods of time. But on the feet, this fight will be very concerning because Chase Hooper leaves way too many openings on the feet. Gibson will capitalize. He will probably clip Chase Hooper. And this will be a fun fight. I just hope Chase Hooper wins. Alright. Let me get to this one quickly, and then I'm going to go down to the Marcin Tybura. This one's going to end in round 1. This is a Terrence McKinney win. Kyle Nelson is on a good little win streak here. Not a good little. He beat Matt Frivola. He should have gotten a first round finish over Matt Frivola, but the ref robbed him. I mean, he beat some pretty good. Fernando Padilla is a good win. Billy Algeo, I mean, that's not a good win. Blake Blender, that's not a good win. I mean, you know how it is with McKinney. If he has the advantage everywhere this fight goes here. I don't think this is actually very close at all. I don't know why people are leaning Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson has never shown the ability to be able to stand and bang with someone the level of McKinney. I think Frivola will get knocked out in the first 30 seconds against McKinney. McKinney is very athletic, very versatile, again, very explosive, very powerful, incredibly high volume. He's never been out of the first round. We all know this. He has an insane pressure style. He has phenomenal wrestling. really good takedowns, really good submission game. He has a phenomenal club and sub. He has insane striking, very good striking. He's a threat everywhere. He'll start fast. He's very long. He's a great striker, but we all know he does have a lot of flaws. He has a glass chin. He has no defense. Terrible cardio. He's never been to the third round, and he's very inconsistent. Terrible fight IQ. Kyle Nelson's a very aggressive, fast starter. He has power. He's really good in the clinch. He does have improved top control. He's improved in the striking a lot. He does have pretty good combinations. Again, he's pretty fast. He has good boxing, good straight punches. He has a pretty good teep kick. He manages range pretty well. But, like, he doesn't have that good of finishing instincts. He doesn't have good cardio. He's very hittable. His striking defense is only 53%. He gets overly aggressive and leaves way too many gaps in his defense and gets hit. Questionable recovery. He's kind of chinny. I just think Terrence McKinney will be able to run this dude down, blitz him, and find his chin and knock him out cold. Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune. Tyrell Fortune is making his debut. Marcin Tybura is terrible. He was kind of a gatekeeper for a while, but I think he lost that stature. I think he's very vehemently declined. This is a 50-50 fight because we don't really know if Tyrell Fortune is a good fighter. And this is on short notice, and I usually don't lean short notice fighters. But I can't see Tybura winning this. It's similar to the Ante Delija fight for me. Marcin Tybura, he fraud checks a lot of fat heavyweights. He's an elite top control, very good grappler, fantastic cardio. He doesn't quit. He has great recovery. He does have really good finishing instincts. He has pretty good submissions. He's versatile. He has really good takedown defense, 71%. He doesn't throw the most. He has only a 3.5 significant strike per minute. He builds into a fight, so if you let him go into the third, fourth round, he does get better and better. He has a really good clinch game. Great ground and pound, mainly his elbows. He's dealt with every type of situation in the cage, so he's very experienced. But we all know he has a lot of negatives here. He's old. I think he just turned 40, nearly turning 41. He starts very slow. He's not fast or athletic. He's very susceptible to early KOs. He struggles to get off of bottom. His chin is glass. He's not very accurate with his takedowns, only 33%. Terrible striking defense. Lacks any technical ability on the feet. And he's very telegraphed. While, I'm not saying Tyrell Fortune's going to be a heavyweight champion here, but I think he will get the job done. He's incredibly powerful. He has 11 KOs out of his, 17 wins, 11 KOs. He's very explosive. He's actually athletic. He isn't just a fat heavyweight. He is kind of built. He has pretty good wrestling. I think he has an amateur wrestling background. He has good takedowns, good top control, but his striking is where he really, really gets into this fight. He has really good boxing, decent boxing combinations, great straight punches right down the pipe. Very strong, good footwork. He has pretty good defensive wrestling. He has good cardio. He's not the highest output. He does back up quite a bit with his hands down, but I don't think Tybura is going to clip him and knock out him. And he doesn't throw many kicks, and he has been put down in quite a few fights. He doesn't have the best chin, and he also, doesn't have any type of submission game. But I'm leaning Tyrell by round 1 or 2, round 1 KO. Mansar Abdul Malik versus Yusari Belgoriev. Uh, Belgari, I'm just gonna call him Usari. Usari, Usari, the tall one. He is a kickboxer. He's fought in Glory, and he's had kickboxing fights with Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya. What I really wanted to mention is that Balaguriev is coming off of a win against Bakoyev, who was incredibly similar to Mansar Abdul Malik, but I think Bakoyev is just better than Mansar Abdul Malik everywhere. He's a better striker, and he's a much better wrestler. And I think this one win in the UFC, because this is his first UFC fight, USAR. I think it's better than any win Mansar has had. He beat Dusko, oh my god, terrible win. He beat Wes Schultz, which clearly we saw what happened to Wes Schultz against Damian Pinas. He beat Nick Klein, but he almost got knocked out cold by Mansar. He almost got knocked out cold by a spinning elbow. He went to a draw decision with Cody Brundage, and he just beat Anto Chikoli. None of Mansar's wins have been any good. He doesn't shown any impressive feats. He went to decision with Cody Brundage, while Belguriev knocked out Bakoyev, who is a very good fighter. Bakoyev is great, and I think Belguriev is gonna knock out Mansar Abdul Malik. Mansar, he's very powerful. He's very explosive. He does have pretty good wrestling. He's very strong and dominant. He's an early round fighter. He doesn't have the best cardio. His chin is questionable. He's very high volume, brutal ground and pound. He closes distance very well. He has good takedowns, and he hunts for the finish. But he leaves a lot of openings in his defense. He's not good at range. He gets very wild and overswings. He gets caught while he's going crazy. Striking defense is not good. Very untested. He uses a lot of strength over technique to get down wrestling. And he lacks any experience in any cardio. Belguriev is a very talented kickboxer. Great. He's so much taller. He's 4 inches. Even though their reach is the same, which is kind of fucking crazy. Belgar, great takedown defense. Really shown that he has great takedown defense. Good head movement. Very fast and agile for a big guy. He works on his back foot and front foot very well. He has power in his hands. Good counter strikes. Maintains distance very well. Very technical. High volume. Good cardio. 6 significant strikes per minute. Uses length perfectly, and he fights very similar to Alex Pereira, but he doesn't offensively wrestle. He's 33. He transitioned late to MMA, and he does use that tall man defense where he leans back instead of using his guard. He leans back with his chin really high in the air. I think Belguriev is gonna be able to box up Mansar at distance, and then Mansar is going to get frustrated and run in and get clipped by Belguriev, and we get a knockout win by Belgarui round 2. These two fights, I'm just going to say what I think are going to happen really quickly because I think they're heavy, chalked. Yeah, oh god, dude, you make no money on these cards. Michael Chiesa is going to smother Nico Price and get a submission win. Nico Price is coming off of a brutal KO loss. Michael Chiesa, he's a good wrestler. Average on the feet. No power, though. Nico is just old and frail and doesn't really have anything to offer the sport anymore. So Michael Chiesa is going to win his retirement fight, probably by round 1 or 2 submission. Julian Erosa, we'll break down this fight. Let me find it. Douglas, very well rounded, great counters, very powerful. He catches his opponents while they walk in with their hands down very well. Great boxing, really good boxing hooks, good leg kicks, good body kicks, and good head kicks. Just great kicks on every level. Great takedown defense and great scrambles. Really good finisher. He doesn't have the best chin and he doesn't have the best submission defense, mainly by front chokes, which is going to be a problem against Julian. Julian, very high volume, walks forwards, pretty good striking. Shoots. He has a pretty very good. He has very good cardio, very active. He has 6.21 significant strikes per minute, and he shoots 1.78 takedowns a fight. He has submissions off his back. He has pretty good wrestling, good takedowns, really good submission defense, great front chokes, Darce and Gilly. He has power, 12 finishes by KO. Veteran, very good pocket fighting. And he does great when his opponents are in dirty boxing range. And he has great competition. He's fought Paddy Pimblett, he's fought Costa, he fought C-Rod, Jamal Emmers, Charles Jourdain, Nate Langwer, and Sean Woodson. He absorbs more strikes than he gives. He absorbs 6.27 strikes per minute, and he only throws 6.21. His striking defense is terrible, 47%. He's been knocked out brutally 7 times. He's vulnerable to big hitters. He gets incredibly open while he's overly aggressive. And he walks forward with his hands down. So what I think is going to happen is Julian Erosa is going to find some early success. And then he's going to get overly confident, walk straight at Douglas with his hands down. And Douglas is going to clip him with a big boxing hook and knock him out cold. So I'm going to go Douglas by KO in round 1. I'm going to go Macy Barber. I don't really want to break down this fight. Look at the time. Macy Barber by decision. I think she's the more active fighter. I think she has the wrestling upside, and I think she's a good striker. Alexa Grasso doesn't have any momentum. Doesn't seem that she wants to be a fighter anymore. And is probably just in it for a paycheck. Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. Izzy is on a 3-fight losing streak. He got knocked out by Nasruddin Imavov in his last fight. Nasruddin is number 1 contender. Great striker. Dricus du Plessis caught him. Luckily clipped Izzy and then got a submission. And then obviously we got the Sean Strickland domination 50-45. Joe Pyfer's on a good streak right now. I'm going to go Izzy. I think Izzy will be able to maintain control. I think this is the perfect fight for Izzy. Joe Pyfer is a very powerful, basic boxer. He walks forwards. He swings massive strikes. He lands his right hand and he knocks you out cold. That being said, he is a pretty good wrestler. He doesn't really utilize his wrestling too much because he does fall in love with his striking. He has good submissions. He has great control. And he does have submissions. But his power is really where he lays. Really good striker. But he's very basic. He throws a lot of 1-2s, a lot of straight punches. He doesn't mix it up very well. And he struggles against very technical strikers who can maintain distance and frustrate him. That's exactly what Jack Hermanson did. And that's exactly what Izzy's going to do. Izzy's going to be able to avoid the power shots, keep range, use his kicks, stick and move, use his head movements. I don't think Izzy is washed. I think he's had crazy competition in his last few fights. I think he's going to have a y'all must have forgot moment here. I think he's going to piece up Joe Pyfer for 5 rounds. I think once Joe Pyfer runs out of gas, which he always does, he slows down after round 2. I think Izzy's really going to put on a show, start landing big shots on him. I don't think Izzy's going to be able to knock out Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer has a fucking ironclad chin. But I think Izzy's just going to be able to out technical him. I think Izzy's way too technical, way too fast, way too slick, way too sharp on the feet for Joe. And I don't think Joe will be able to wrestle Izzy. Izzy has shown elite takedown defense, pretty solid get up game. I just don't think Joe Pyfer has fought the level of competition that is Israel Adesanya. I think it's too much for him. I think the jump up in competition is way too much, and I think the step down in competition for Izzy is exactly what he needs. And I think, the questionable chin, I don't think it's going to come into play. I think his chin is kind of healed. It's been a year that he got knocked out, and he hasn't been flatline knocked out. He always just gets clipped. And yes, Deshaun Strickland, we've seen that he has more power than we all thought because he did knock out Anthony Hernandez. We all know Dricus is very powerful, and Amavov just landed the cleanest shot on him. I think Izzy wins by decision. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys disagree with my picks, please comment yours. Thank you for watching. Bye.